We're almost ready. Cliff's putting his tie on.
No, but this was stupid. Jose was at my house,
Thank you for your
and
patience.
he was doing work,
Wicked
and he
windy
was
outside,
saying,
as you can see with the
Eileen,
flag.
don't walk out there, and I was coming out of
It's
my
gonna be a little
cellar bulkhead,
windy today.
and I said,
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. I'm joined on the phone by Eileen Delrossi, who will be coming in later. And we have with us Regina Faticanti,
Good morning.
teacher and prison worker.
Corrections worker.
Yeah, there we go. And we have our producer, of course, John McDonough.
Belinda Juran will be here in a second.
So, looking at history, in 1275, Edward I permits his mother, Eleanor of Provence, to expel the Jews from the towns of Worcester, Marlborough, Cambridge, and Gloucester. In England,
You know
not
what I
here.
thought was cool about that, Cliff?
What?
The fact that I saw some names that I recognized to be names of cities that we have here in Massachusetts, thereby reminding me that we're not that far back from over the pond. We stole the names when we got here. Oh, we didn't have any original names, so let's take the names we remembered from England.
Yeah,
It's like Worcester.
exactly. So in 1349, the Basel Massacre, dozens to hundreds of Jews were burned to death by Christians after being accused of causing the Black Death.
That's horrible.
Yep. 1786, Virginia enacts the Statute of Religious Freedom authored by Thomas Jefferson, which helps lead to our First Amendment.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
You need, Cliff won't do it. You have to be closer to your microphone.
Okay, thank you. He was a smart guy.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought I had it closer. I'm having a hard time today.
Take your time. We're doing good, Cliff.
Okay, in 1883, the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act established the United States Civil Service was enacted by Congress. So, civil service reform, after we had a president assassinated by an unhappy job seeker.
So, connect the two of those for me so I understand better.
Pendleton is the name of the act that created our civil service.
And civil service is so that everybody is on the same page?
Yeah, that's your civil service. You didn't get the job because of your connections to somebody who's connected to somebody.
Okay, so you got the job because you signed up for civil service.
Yeah.
You took a test, your name got on the list, and they pulled you from the list. Okay.
You can't get fired.
You can't get, right, that's right, that's the other thing. You can't get fired. Thank you,
You
John.
can give the
can't get
president,
fired,
you can
but
give the
it's a lot of
president the
work.
finger, and you can still keep your job.
Oh, yes, as we noticed the other day, right?
He was not a civil servant.
He's a union member. You think he's
Yeah.
gonna stay out for long?
No, he's not.
Our mailmen, post office workers, they're
Too
civil
tight
servants,
on the
right?
phone, Cliff?
Yes. What, John?
Microphone's too tight on her.
Post,
Thank you.
postal employees are civil service?
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
so.
was talking to my mailman over, well, I was talking to my
little more
mailman, and he was
distance
saying how one day last week when the ice was
A little
so
more
bad,
distance?
and he almost fell, and
Perfect.
or he did fall, he called the postmaster and was like, I'm not doing this. This is not safe. It's not safe to do it. And he was saying how unhappy the postmaster was, but it just wasn't safe for anybody to be out delivering mail.
Yep.
That's why I salt the driveway. I salt the spot for the postman to come straight down my driveway to the mailbox.
Well, why do we need mail every day?
Every day.
I think that they can take the day off once in a while. No mail today. Let
I
them
don't-
stay home.
I don't get mail every day, and I'm fine with that. Because no mail, no bills, right?
Some way to look at it.
Some European country just abolished its post office.
Oh, I do like getting mail, because I like to send cards. I like to send birthday cards and thank you cards, and I like to send cards, so I do like the mail. But I don't get mail every day. I don't even get, circulars from the stores every day.
I get mail every day at home and at my post office box.
You're kidding? Okay.
That's just a sort of a hanger-on from my time before I got to law.
Why did you keep the post office box?
Thank you for asking.
Because I've got 30 years, 34 years, well, I don't know, 40 years of experience of getting my mail to a post office box. It was a big deal for me as a elementary school student when I got permission to pick up the mail on the way home from school with the post office box,
Okay.
because we did not have home delivery in the town I
Oh,
See,
wow.
I like going outside, one step, yanking it out of my box and bringing it inside.
okay.
Yeah. I like the fact, what you said, Regina, like you like sending birthday cards
Yeah.
or thank you letters, because I think that's such a lost art. I remember being in college at UNLV, and people would write me all the time, and I'd write back, but I think the writing of letters and cards is such a lost art. It makes you feel so good when you get one.
Yes, and I like, especially with my niece, I send her, I don't care what the occasion is, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Valentine's Day now, she'll get a card. I like to send a card. I remember my nephew told me when she first learned how to read her name, the mail was on the countertop, and she looked at it, and she kind of smiled, and he said, "What's the matter?" And she said, "I can read my name, and I think Auntie Gina sent that to me." So she, so it just became, and somebody said to me, "You still send your niece cards?" I said, "Listen, my niece is going to be in college, I'll still send her cards." And I told her that story, and she looked at me, she said, "Auntie, you better." Because inside the card goes a little bit of green, right? So, of course, Auntie's going to send a card.
I love it.
I had an experience back to civil service. My boss's secretary and my boss had cross-filed grievances. So the human relations people moved her to my office,
Okay.
where I gave
Was
her
that
a
her
job.
punishment?
Yeah, all punished. But then they were offering early outs, and her supervisor in the office came to me and said, "She'll be gone this afternoon." And that's right. They offered the buyouts. She went down, took it, and was gone that afternoon. So
Problem solved.
problem solved.
Problem solved, okay.
So in 1942, Nazi Germany begins deporting Jews from Lot ghetto to Chemno extermination camp. And I think the United States sort of ignored this. Not good. In 1979, Iranian Revolution, the last Iranian Shah flees Iran with his family and relocates to Egypt.
So I have a story with that. I went to school with two women from Persia. They always, and still to this day, people from that area will not use the other name of that country. They will always use Persia, because that's where they were from, Persia. And they went to St. Joseph's High School with me. And they came here with their brother. Their parents were someplace else. Their dad was a bigwig who worked for the Shah. And when the country was falling, they were able to get out. Our government helped them get out. Now, why they relocated this family to Lowell, I have no idea. But the young man went to Lowell, and two women went to high school with me, and mom and dad, I think, were in D.C. And they were doing some kind of protocol for the government. I'm not sure what it was, but and I remember that they were very clear that we came from Persia. That's what they just never because of course Iran, that had took on a negative term after the fall.
I think only about half of the people in that nation are Iranian Muslims. There's a whole bunch of different people in that country.
Yes.
I'm not surprised at that. So in 2020, on this date, we have the first impeachment of Donald Trump, formally moved to its trial phase in the United States Senate. And if the Democrats win the midterms, it'll be more.
That would be a bad thing.
Birthday, 1901, Frank Zamboni.
Did he create the Zamboni? When I saw
He
that, I
did.
thought he had to have created the Zamboni, right?
He did.
Okay.
Passed away in 1988. And in 1902, Eric Lindell, Scottish runner, rugby player, missionary, was born.
He didn't live very long.
1945, he was killed in China,
Oh.
where he was a missionary. Today is National Religious Freedom Day in the U.S., and it's Teachers' Day in Myanmar and Thailand.
Can you read the lovely story about President Eisenhower? Because I read that and I thought, man, that was a great story.
Yeah.
Or just kind of give a bio of that, because that was a great story.
I'll try and read it, see if I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, on a
Or give a-
freezing February morning in 1956, President Dwight D. Eisenhower was being driven through Washington, D.C. when he noticed an elderly woman struggling to cross an icy intersection, her grocery bags splitting open and cans rolling into the street, while cars honked impatiently around her. What happened next shocked his entire Secret Service detail. Eisenhower...
He discovered he had a camera crew with him?
Unfortunately, no, John.
Isn't that what happened? He discovered he had a camera crew with him?
I don't think it was caught on tape.
I'm asking Cliff, he's telling the story.
No.
Usually that's when a politician jumps into action. Looks around, sees there's a camera. Yeah! Watch this, I'll be goody two-shoes.
The purpose of this story is to make the point that sometimes we can just be human beings and not politicians. Anyway, Eisenhower immediately ordered the motorcade to stop, jumped out before anyone could protest, and rushed into that intersection to help gather her scattered groceries while his agents frantically secured the area. The woman, 72-year-old Ruth Patterson, later told reporters she had absolutely no idea who was helping her until she looked up and saw the President of the United States kneeling on the frozen pavement picking up her soup cans, and her first words were, "Oh, my Lord, I voted for Stevenson." What makes this moment so extraordinarily beautiful is that Eisenhower burst out laughing, helped her to the sidewalk, and said, with that famous warm smile, "Well, ma'am, that just means I need to work harder to earn your vote next time. But right now, let's get you and these groceries somewhere warm." His driver, Master Sergeant John Mahoney, recorded in his daily log that the president insisted on personally driving Mrs. Patterson home in the presidential limousine, carrying her groceries to her door, and refusing to leave until he was certain she was safely inside with her heat working properly. What absolutely destroys me is what Mrs. Patterson told the Washington Post 3 days later. "I was so embarrassed about voting against him that I apologized 5 times, and he just keeps saying that democracy means nothing if we all agree, and he was grateful I cared enough to vote at all. That man turned my most humiliating moment into one where I felt respected and valued. He teaches us that true character isn't shown when cameras are watching or people agree with us. It's revealed in frozen intersections when we choose human dignity over convenience and pride."
Great story.
It is a great story.
Great story. Which never would have been told unless the master sergeant, who was his driver, had bothered to record it, for us to be able to hear about it
Oh, did
today.
somebody write that down?
Yes,
Oh.
John.
Wow.
John.
You are such a cynic, John.
I was just going to say, John's a little jaded today. That's
Cliff,
okay.
Who are you trying to kid? You want the audience to believe Goody Two Shoes did that.
Did
Who
you
was-
do this, Eileen?
Who was the president?
Did I
Eisenhower.
do what?
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower. Okay. Who sent troops and yelled at, he was a general, and you think he stopped to
What?
help some lady, and didn't think there was
They're
any
not.
people recording this?
Yeah. I
don't-
think he didn't think there were any recordings.
Oh, okay. Sure Santa Claus still goes to your house doing the Easter bunny.
I hope he comes to my house. Renee Good.
I'm still trying to get over the cynicism.
Oh, okay. I was going to work past the cynicism.
Well, yeah, Renee Good is passed away. I think she put herself into a position from which a recovery was not possible.
I would agree with you. So I'm sure you've seen the video where she struck that ICE officer, who now we know has internal bleeding in the stomach area because she did strike him with her vehicle after he was telling her to get out of the vehicle. Her wife was egging her on, excuse me, and she, instead of pulling over, what did she do? She plowed into the man. He defended himself by shooting. What do people expect law enforcement to do?
I expect them to defend themselves.
I do too.
And the more cynical among us think that I'll put it down to the far left, is hoping to create another George Floyd incident.
And even the George Floyd incident, if you look at what was going on, I mean, what happened was terrible. But George Floyd was no angel. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm sorry, but I'm putting that out there. Renee Good, she put herself, you said it perfectly. Excuse me. She put herself in a position where there was no good that could come of it. And as a result, unfortunately, Renee Good is no longer with us on this earth.
We're not getting the whole story. The press is a joke. Move on.
Excuse me, we can't move on.
It's not gonna change, Cliff. It's still reported today. There's nobody reporting that the mother of 3, had 2 of the kids taken away from her because her spouse was putting their cigarettes out on their arm. Where's that story?
Excuse me, how did you get that story?
The same way I got the story that there was a shooting on TV.
So it's out there. The Boston Globe isn't doing it.
Underreported.
Underreported, I'll go along with that.
Now, the cop that got run over, they don't want to call him a cop because they like the cops. They call him whatever they're going to call him, the enforcer. He's still in the hospital, from what I understand.
Yes, you're correct, John.
Where did you hear that reported on News Center 5?
You're right.
News Center 5 is a pack of liars. So, then nothing. That's not going to change today, Cliff. When do you think they'll start telling the truth at News Center 5?
Well, I have a little bit of hope that CBS is making a bit of a turnaround under Barry Weiss.
No, Channel 5's ABC.
I don't know Channel 5.
I don't watch Channel 5.
Channel 5 is the largest news broadcaster in New England. And that's just how it's going to be.
I think that John is correct. We have not heard all of the story here, just like we have not heard all of the story about the injuries for this ICE agent. I did not know that she had a couple of her other children taken away. Now, the wife or Renee Good herself, John, who had the children taken away?
They both did.
That they both did. And what's interesting is they did have was it a 7-year-old still in their custody?
The judge told the woman who got shot and killed
Good.
that pick one. Pick your children or your spouse. You can't live with both. And she picked her spouse.
Ooh. Ooh.
The first time you're hearing this story?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I need to go do some more research. I need to look at, because I look at the news multiple times a day. But I need to look at probably some different news outlets. And I always look at the same couple. I get the Herald delivered to my phone every day, so I can get that news, which I read religiously. And I get other news to my phone every day, to my computer.
Well, they're not telling you the truth, Regina.
Yep, now I'm hearing it from you, and I'm wondering, I need to be digging deeper. A lot deeper.
Yeah, but you have to remember, he's a friend of Gary's. So
FOG?
where's he getting his?
Well,
All right.
yep. Say no more.
So, why is this still active? This morning, the Lowell Sun has an article that U.S. Rep. Seth Moulton from Massachusetts has introduced a bill to defund ICE.
Shame on him.
When I read that, I thought, defund ICE? Turns out, no, but it does want to claw back billions of dollars from the ICE budget that they were given with the big, beautiful bill. And he wants to have the Healthcare Reinvestment Act, which would redirect the funding to extend Affordable Care Act tax credits, when what we ought to do is fix the Affordable Care Act.
I agree. Fix the Affordable Care Act. I agree that people should have insurance, that people should have health care, because I don't want people to be using the emergency room as health care, because that is expensive. Because
It is.
everybody watching right now, everybody who's going to watch later, everybody sitting in this room, and people who are going to be walking into this room, we are paying for that. And that is what can I call it, an unfunded mandate? And that's expensive.
Somebody down in Boston did a little study, an experiment, and they found that if you house a homeless person, not a fancy house, but a room,
Okay.
that it cuts the amount of money the government spends on health care for that person from something like by about $800 a year. Well, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Because let's take every homeless person and then on and then on and then on and then on and collect all that $800. And then what could we do with the $800? Could we put that to veteran services? Could we put that to services for the elderly? That's what I would like to see happen. Absolutely.
Yep.
So when I came in this morning, I asked John if we could talk about the disappearance of
Cliff's not done with history yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cliff, go ahead. You're right, you're not done with history.
No, I am done with history.
You are?
What is it that you wanted to talk about that you forgot to email me about and you asked John?
Well, I was out last night at Rodney Elliott's get-together, so I came home a little late and then had dinner and settled in for the night. He had a lovely party, by the way. There were 100 people there. Our new city councilor was there. Two city councilors were there.
Namely?
Sean McDonough was there. I went and said hello to him. And the other councilor, in fact, John helped me. He brought us lunch here one day. Brought us a lovely packed lunch here one day.
Good.
Cowboy hat.
Oh, he's not a counselor. Jose Cervantes.
Yeah, he's on the Board of Health. He ran for city council.
Hunger Homeless.
Hunger
He's
Homeless
also-
Commission. He ran for
I think
city
he comes here
council.
every Tuesday, I think.
He ran for city council. I'm sorry, he
Comes
ran for
here
city
every-
council. There were several people who were there who had.
He's like you, he's a frequent flyer here on City Life.
Okay, thank you. And he's a great, very well-learned man, great guest. So he was there last night, and
He
there
also
were-
has great advice. I should have listened to him when he was doing work in my house, and he told me, "Don't walk there, Eileen."
Okay,
It's right.
all right, so Eileen, so he's very, like I said, well-learned man, okay? So he was there, several other people who had run for public office were there, whose names I should have wrote them down. But there were a lot of people who were there, and Rodney spoke, and it was, like I said, he had a good 100 people there. I took some photos, I took a couple of group photos. I took some photos of Rodney speaking, and it was nice to see. And Rodney thanked everybody. He said, "Hey, I know you could be doing anything else on a Thursday night, but you're here." And I appreciate that. And so we're going to be holding some signs on Saturday morning at Hannaford on Lakeview Ave. If anybody wants to drive by and wave, I'd appreciate that.
Wishing you the best weather.
Wednesday, there were people out holding signs at Rogers and Andover intersection
Okay,
for Rodney.
okay.
There were 4 people.
It's chilly, but so I got my duck boots. Gonna wear some heavy socks. I got a hat. I'm gonna bundle up. Bundle up.
That's
else can I
important.
do?
You lose a lot of heat through your head.
60% of your body heat escapes from your head.
Yep.
And I got a hat today. I always wear a hat. People laugh at me, but I don't care. Laugh at me. I'm gonna stay nice and toasty. So you always wear a hat.
Yep.
Okay, so Cliff, I was going through your notes, and that's how I picked up on Renee Good. The other thing I picked up on was Michael Morrissey has seen the writing on the wall.
Who's Michael Morrison?
Michael Morrissey, the district attorney in Norfolk County.
He knows him only by his official name.
Meatball Morrissey. Meatball Morrissey has seen that he is probably not going to win re-election. He unsuccessfully tried, now, of course, Eileen, I know, and that's why I wrote it on my list, because you're an aficionado of Karen Reed, that he tried Karen Reed twice unsuccessfly to try to find her guilty of murdering her boyfriend, John O'Brien. And there was just no evidence to support that. And
Too much traffic. I'm getting too much traffic out of her cell phone.
Eileen? Eileen? Here, let me put it down here for now.
Hello?
Eileen, a lot of traffic out of your cell phone.
We're picking up the kitchen noise.
Please continue, Regina.
So, the reason I wrote this down is because I know Eileen is a big Karen Reed aficionado, so I figured she'd want to weigh in on this. So Meatball Morrissey, John, is the Norfolk DA who tried Karen Reed twice, but he also ignored plain in the face evidence that indicated Sarah Birchmore, who was groomed from the age of 13 by a police officer, who then began having illegal relations with her at an
What do you
age
mean, why was it illegal?
because it was below the age of 16, John.
Oh, with a minor.
She was a minor, and she got pregnant by this officer at the age of, I think, 21, 22.
Hey, can we back?
Eileen Delrossi.
Very happy about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Sandra Birchmore, and Eileen, I wrote this note down because I know you're a big aficionado of the Karen Reed case. Sandra Birchmore got pregnant by this police officer who is he is going to be tried federally, John. And the district attorney said she killed herself. And we're going to go with that because I want to sweep this under the rug. Because I want to keep all the police officers who are having illicit relations with this girl, I want them to keep their jobs. Well, her
And then the
family,
state police officer who actually missed 33,000 text messages from them.
thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. So what Eileen is referring to is all the text messages between Sandra Birchmore and the two police officers who were illicitly engaging in intercourse with her. They couldn't find 33,000 text messages? Please. So this case was reopened, and it was determined after Sandra Birchmore was, her body was brought back to the medical examiner's office, that she was killed. She had not committed suicide. And who killed her? The man who impregnated her.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, the man who impregnated her. That's why I'm not using any names. Who also was married and has 3 children of his own. And he didn't want Sandra Birchmore to mess that up for him.
And after he killed Sandra Birchmore, he went to the hospital where his wife was in labor for his 3rd child.
And that I didn't know. Thank you. I did not realize that. Okay, so that's some really sick stuff there, Eileen. So Michael Morrissey buried that. He buried the true killer of John O'Brien, trying to pin it on Karen Reed. And I think Meatball Morrissey realized his days were numbered.
Well, he is a little long in the tooth. He's been in politics for 50 years.
I saw that in your notes, Cliff, yes.
Completely uncontested. And I think you're conflating John O'Keefe and Eddie O'Brien.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. John O'Keefe. Eddie O'Brien's a different murder. I gave you that book. How are you doing with that book?
I love it. It's
Excellent.
so true.
Excellent. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So,
Politics of murder
yes.
in Massachusetts.
So I think that Michael Morrissey, Meatball Morrissey, saw the writing on the wall, and he announced the other day, it was a good day for justice in Norfolk County, because now some good people are going to run for that seat, and that the criminality hopefully will, in what happens in
Is
most
the Middlesex
communities-
sheriff up for election?
Pardon me?
Is the Middlesex sheriff up for re-election?
No, he's not. He still has several more years on his,
Understood, he's got to go.
I've heard that rumor.
That's just my opinion. You don't see hiding here of the guy. He doesn't want to take care of the homeless, so I'm trying to fix his wagon too.
I've heard the rumor, but, we only work there, so we don't get a lot of information.
You shouldn't put this, because sheriffs are vindictive.
And I love my job. And I
They can
do a
be
good
vindictive.
job. And I want to keep my job. So thank you for that advice, John.
Although I was talking to a
Pardon me?
person, whose relative is a Republican state rep. And I asked her, where's his office in the State House? And she called them and they said he's happy with his location. So there doesn't seem to be any truth that the speaker put you down cellar. Republican guy's happy with his office, so
Okay.
gotta check out these stories.
There's a Republican state rep in Massachusetts? That's like a white elephant.
It is.
And it's a beautiful thing.
He might be a senator, I forget. what
That's
my
a
friend
wonderful
told me.
thing, because I think we need balance. I'm not saying that we should have more of one than other. I just think we need balance, that's all.
I'm with you.
So Cliff, you made some excellent notes. You also talked about $9 million missing dollars in Minnesota.
Yeah. $9 billion.
Now, I'm sorry, 9 billion. I put an M there instead of a B. Now, Tim Walz will not address the issue at all. And this happened under his leadership. And what the news stories are telling me is that the whistleblowers were telling their bosses, and people were going to Tim Walz, and the whistleblowers were losing their jobs and were told to shut up. Do not discuss $9 billion that's missing from the budget, or $9 billion that went in illegally into the pockets of people who bought luxury cars, apartments, Louis Vuitton pocketbooks. I love a Louis Vuitton pocketbook. Expensive jewelry, took big vacations, and the money went to Somalia to help defend the warlords. I'd like to send some money to help some of the veterans in our community and the homeless in our community, and some displaced
Rita, why don't
people.
we give it back to the taxpayers? So you're so generous, let's give it to somebody else. Give it back to the taxpayers.
Well,
That's never a solution by any politician. Let's just, you know what? Let's give it back to the taxpayer.
well, John, if I'm giving it to the veterans, then I don't have to give my tax dollars to the veterans
Well, where do you think the veterans get their money?
from taxes.
Okay, thank you.
So it's kind of evens out.
Give it back to the taxpayers,
Okay, give it,
please.
okay.
So Tim Walz, I can understand that he's sort of incompetent,
Oh, incredibly.
but his Attorney General, Keith Ellison, I think has to bear a lot of responsibility also.
In what way? Tell me.
As the Attorney General, he should be looking for these crimes and prosecuting them.
Yes.
And the Attorney General is just blithely ignoring the whole thing.
Absolutely. And one kid who is a blogger, has his own blog, takes his phone and goes to a daycare center and films that there are no people in the parking lot, that there's no one in the daycare center, and they actually have written it's the child care leering center instead of the child care learning center, right? And he then pounds on the door, and the guy comes to the door, and no, you can't enroll your child here because we're not taking any more children. What do you mean you're not taking any more children? You have no children here. Why aren't you taking? And he blows this open. He blows this wide. And I heard the other day that he's getting death threats because he dared tell the truth. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's like Andy No, out on the coast. He does that kind of private citizen expose journalism, and
Well, how
Yes.
about the News Center, Minnesota? Why didn't they report on it? They'll say, "Oh, we've found soap that's gone bad on the shelf at the supermarket. We're exposing this." You can expose the government and you can't get sued. Why aren't you exposing the government? Because they're buying ads at our TV station. That's why. That's how they shut them up. Why do you think drugs are so goddamn expensive? Because everybody knows a tune for a drug they don't take because they buy a ton of ads on TV.
Right.
And the drug makers say, "Go ahead, complain about us. We'll take away your revenue." It's all about money. Goes back to Moses. All about money.
Well, how about we bring it back even further? 30 pieces of silver, right? 30 pieces of
Moses
silver.
was before that.
Oh, I am messing up my Bible, John. Thank you. Thank you. You're right. Moses was before that. And then,
Eileen Delrossi.
and then we went to 30 pieces of silver.
Christ almighty.
So Cliff, tell me what you think is going to happen in Minnesota.
I think nothing constructive.
Okay?
The governor is trying to start a fight with Trump, and I am hoping that President Trump does not respond.
Me too, because sometimes when he responds, he gets a little angry.
He's sending more troops. More troops are going there today.
Is that correct?
Meaning, I shouldn't say President Trump is sending more ICE agents to Minnesota for the weekend.
Great. I heard he was sending 100 more.
I heard 1,000,
Ooh, 1,000 is even better.
but I heard that a week ago, so maybe it's just another 100, make it 1,100.
That's great.
On the other hand, rumor is there's a bunch coming here. They just delivered 37 new SUVs to the ICE facility in Burlington.
So let me just say this. We had a bunch of young officers leave our correctional facility, and they got jobs with ICE. They got nice starting bonuses, and ICE took them because they'd already gone through a 26-week academy. So this baloney of these people are not trained, oh, yes, they are. They were trained by us, and we run a good academy. They were already told, you're going to be assigned to the Burlington office. So there are lots of ICE people in the Burlington office, because they didn't just hire 6 people from our correctional facility. They hired 20 people from that police department, and 10 from here, and 10 from there. So there are lots of people who are converging on that Burlington facility. And I think that now that they've converged and they've probably had some training, they're going to be heading to different parts of Massachusetts. That being said, ICE has been in Lowell for quite some time.
Eileen Delrossi.
Cliff, would you turn the volume down on your ringer, please?
I'm not
It's
sure I
very
know
loud in my
how.
earpiece. Thank you.
So I know ICE has been in Lowell for some time now, for several months. I've encountered ICE on my way to work in the morning. I don't know if I told the story about, so a lot of Guatemalans live in Centerville. They have jobs as roofers. And so you see the big white trucks with the ladders on top, driving over the Bridge Street Bridge for people to go to work. And I am driving to work one morning at 6 a.m., big white van in front of me. He pulls onto the bridge and it stops dead. And I'm thinking, buddy, let's put the foot on the gas because I gotta go to work and I'm right behind you. So he's inching, and I don't want to blow my horn because he could be having a little mechanical problem that I don't know about. But right after the Bridge Street Bridge, the Mass Mills apartment building is on the left, and there's a cutout where there's like a service road, and he pulled in there. So now I can see ahead of me, and I see blue flashing lights. And I think, oh, okay, let me go slow, because you never want to hit anybody that could be out on the road. And I looked to my right, and I said, well, that is not the Lowell Popo. That's some federal police right there, because they're all wearing their ice vests. And I said, and they had pulled over one of the big white vans, and they had them both out on the sidewalk. A week later, same thing. And so let me read these couple of texts. Did Good have a job? No, she did not, text her. Her mother actually paid her rent. Unfortunately, her bad judgment cost her not only 2 children, but her life. DW. Thank you, DW. Next texter. The media didn't tell the truth about the border. The whipping of the migrants. President Biden was fit for office. Great text, texter. You're right. The media didn't tell the truth about the border. And President Obama had pretty much the same policy of sending people back, but the media just didn't talk about it. Because, they didn't want anybody to know that this was going on. And Obama turned people away at the border. And then he used those numbers to say, I turned 1 million people away. I took 1 million people out of the country. No, you just turned 1 million people away at the border. That's all you did. That's it. So, Obama had some of the same rules.
Hey, Cliff, do you have Blue Monday on your list of things to talk about today?
Blue Monday?
Yeah. I'm going to say no. Okay.
The fact that we're not having a show Monday?
No. Somebody's calling Martin Luther King Day Blue Monday, and then what the hell's the matter with it? It's Martin Luther King Day. Why would you try to rename it anything else?
What does Blue Monday mean, John?
I don't know. I'll have to go ask the internet. But they're trying to it seems to me they're trying to take over Martin Luther King Day.
I really like Martin Luther King Day.
Hey, while I got your attention here, here's Rodney's party last night downtown Lowell. Cisco put these pictures out, so...
this is awesome. Thank you,
got
Cisco.
Quite the crowd here.
Excellent crowd.
Are you in here anywhere, Regina?
No, because I'm taking the picture.
Okay.
I'm actually, one of the women is standing in the front, handed me her camera and said, could you? I said, I sure can. So I took a picture for a couple of different people, and I took a picture for myself. So I was taking a lot of pictures too. Great photos. Look at that.
Good time had by all.
And people were dancing. I mean, they had great music playing.
How was the food?
Dancing. Pardon me?
How was the food?
The food was excellent. Charlene and I split some of the food. The food was really, really good.
Beautiful, okay. So that was Rodney's party last night. I can't find any from Sam Meesh yet, but I'm sure somebody will put them up.
Yeah, so the salsa was excellent. I had some salsa. Charlene and I split a tamale. It was very, very good. The food was excellent. Yes, the food was very good. So I will say you know what? It might be a to-go-to place for dinner club.
Well, your pick's coming up.
So back to Minnesota.
Yes. Give me your take.
Well, City Journal made a comment. Minnesota's political structures were designed for Scandinavians who are famously industrious with a high level of social trust that has allowed them to sustain ambitious welfare programs with little abuse. This raises a question about coming to the United States.
And I wrote that down as a question to discuss with you.
Do we want people to assimilate, or are we looking for them to just set up their former community here in the United States?
So when you say assimilate, there's no platform called assimilation. So if I moved here from Brazil, what would I assimilate to? What's the platform?
You'd assimilate to local custom. Learning the language.
Thank you for that foggy answer. Thank you
Okay,
so
so
much.
it would be
I'm
learning
asking Clifford.
Learning English.
I'm asking Clifford.
Okay.
Assimilation means that you adopt, gee, I almost used the word mores. That would
Oh, I
be
know
confusing.
mores.
Yeah.
I know mores.
You adopt the language and customs of the place you came to because one assumes you admired what was going on in that country before you came there. So I don't think it means that you have to become a Protestant.
Is that the spelling?
Assimilation.
The
process-
process of taking in and fully understanding information or ideas. How you like that? Second one, the absorption and digestion of food, nutrients of the body, of any vital biological system. So, looks like the media out there doesn't want assimilation used for what you guys using that word for.
I saw that Cliff wrote this last night, and I made a note to myself. And one of the things that you wrote, Cliff, was not all cultures are the same, and you're right. But when you come here, I expect you to adopt. I don't expect you to not ever practice your culture again, no. But I do expect you to adopt this culture. And what is this culture? Adopt the language, adopt our way of life. And how do we live? Well, I know my grandparents, they went to adult ed to learn English. They went to adult ed to study to take citizenship, and they got jobs. Now, they were able to get jobs because we had factories here where people could actually, regardless of their English skills, could get work. And lots of people got jobs in Lawrence. Regardless of their English speaking skills, they could get work. And that means they could take money home. They could buy a small house. They could take their kids to the Hampton Beach for a week. They could go out to the movies. That's assimilating. I don't expect you to ignore your culture. No. But I expect you to
An
adopt.
idea of assimilation, which is not well practiced in law. Yes? Yes. I'm sorry.
Can I go get it?
Sure, go right for Belinda, please.
Is crosswalks.
Yes.
Some people just walk right across the street. They don't look for traffic, or they don't stop for people in crosswalks. But the American society standard, I think, is you use the crosswalk, you're polite to the car, and the car's polite to you.
Cliff, we make the mistake of assuming immigrants know what they want them to do. They're first-timers. Put a platform out there. You need to assimilate. You need to learn English. Your kids have got to go to school. And you can't hit anybody. Start off with those three. You can't physically hit anybody, even your own family. Learn and speak English. And your kids have got to go to school. Just put those three things down for a beginning platform of what assimilation is. So you moved to France. What's assimilation in France? You just went, you don't speak any French? What's the assimilation in France?
You learn French, and you learn...
So you say.
Yes.
That's just not written down anywhere. We welcome immigrants for hundreds of years, and we should have a written platform. That's my take.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am Frosty.
Yes, it is frosty. I know, very late.
Wouldn't you think, Cliff? Where is the written documentation, assimilation, and what, after we just looked on the computer, AI said it's not understanding English.
I think the more insightful don't need to be told. They pick up what it means to be a U.S. citizen, and they follow it, and they pass it on to their fellow immigrants.
So, Cliff, when you get to France, and they write you a little note, this is our platform, and it's all in French. What's your takeaway from that?
I'm sorry, ask the question again.
So you move to France,
Yeah,
and they send you a little note, a postcard that tells you how to assimilate, and it's written in French.
yeah,
How's that help you?
I get it translated.
Okay.
Or, I've learned how to read French.
But my point is, we should do a much better job telling our newcomers what they should be doing and by when should they have it done. And we don't do that. We don't tell newcomers what to do if, okay, here's the four of us driving out to Dunkin' Donuts to get a cup of coffee. We get pulled over by ICE, and they put us all in their van. What proof do you need to have to be an American? Anybody got an answer?
I think a
It's a guess, right?
passport, driver's license, some paperwork. Christy Nolm this morning, I heard her say that we are going to be pulling people over, and you should have your paperwork ready.
What paperwork do you bring with you, Regina?
Well, I guess the paperwork that you
30
got
seconds.
that says you got here legally.
Do you have any paperwork that proves you're a citizen?
I have my passport
Okay,
that says I'm a citizen of the United States.
okay. So Belinda, do you have any paperwork that proves you're a citizen?
I do have a passport, yes.
You carry it with you?
I carry my passport card now.
Okay. Cliff, do you carry your passport with you?
Because of this.
So
I got
if-
my military
Cliff stayed for the
retired
weekend.
ID.
We're gonna be back, we're going to break.
My military retired ID.
We're gonna be back, we're going to break. So Belinda, good morning. Anything you wanna make sure we talk about today?
No, Joe, you have a meeting week coming up at the end of January, that just sounds it. Yeah. Okay,
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to City Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. Sitting next to me is Belinda Juran, new city councilor here in Lowell. Eileen Delrossi is en route, and Regina Faticanti is unlocking the door. And we have our producer, John McDonough. So, Eileen, are you still on the phone?
Yes, I'm here. Hi,
Good-
Belinda. Good morning.
Yes, hi, good morning, Eileen. How are you? I look forward to seeing you when you come in.
So have you
Thanks.
put in a bid for
Thanks, Regina.
Karen Reed's car?
No, I can't afford that even on auction.
Yeah. So it's good.
The entertainment system is dead. It's about $40,000 to replace it.
Yeah.
On the car?
Which is the navigation system. So they destroyed it when they took the car. The DA's office destroyed it, and it's a $40,000 charge to restore it.
Wow, that's how much
Right.
is the car worth?
So
I
it's
mean,
a Lexus. It was pretty much brand new at the time they took it from her.
Yeah, but still $40,000.
It's probably that is probably more than the car's worth.
That's amazing.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
So, I don't want to get ahead of myself here. The state's business outlook, I read in the Sun that pessimism trumps optimism. And so I think this is sort of germane to city councilors, because I'm worried about business in Lowell. Downtown doesn't look very good to me. And then the city council, at the behest of Kim Scott, has a moratorium on data center sites. The place I moved from, Prince Bill County in Virginia, is eagerly encouraging people to set up data sites in Prince Bill, because it's tax money and it's employment, and that means more tax money. Are we going to be able to turn Lowell around and make it more business friendly?
Well, so I too worry about downtown, and I think it's unfortunate that, several places, restaurants have closed recently. Year-end seems to be a bad time for businesses.
Dunkin' Donut just closed.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But there are new things coming in. Where Pinella was on Market Street is now Ecos Bar and Grill, and the menu looks amazing. It's a Latinx place, very similar to Pinella. It looks like the same kind of sort of like slightly upscale Latin food. I haven't been there yet. I really, want to, and just haven't gotten there yet. And I'm going to put in a plug also for Trem Caipira, which is a Brazilian, I would call it the Brazilian fusion restaurant. It's where Dana's Market used to be, on the corner of Appleton and I guess it's Gorham Street there. The food is really wonderful. We've been there like 6 times and have had something different each time and really enjoyed it. So I would recommend that. The city's economic development director, Ally Carter, is working with the business owners and the building owners to put in a business improvement district downtown. So that, she's working on it, but that would, I think, be helpful. In terms of data centers, there isn't yet a moratorium on them. The motion was referred to the zoning committee at Tuesday's meeting. And I think the issue, and this is true even in Virginia, that now data centers, as they are getting close to residential places, there are tensions now. And even in actually northeastern Pennsylvania, where my brother and his family live, there's a lot of open space and lots of data centers are being built in the mountains there. And the towns in which they're being built are really worried about the energy impact as well as the water impact, because there's a lot of very pure water there that you don't want contaminated. So I think the point of Councilor Scott's motion is to really look at what is the right balance between bringing in business, because I agree, Lowell has been a center of innovation for 200 years. We should be moving ahead, but we also have residents living right next to
Explain
this
to me
data center.
how the water gets contaminated.
It's more that it gets used a lot, because the data center needs a lot of water to cool the space.
All right.
Yes.
Got it.
And then, I think, so it's really that it's sort of pure water it's actually used often for there are drinking water bottlers and other things there because it's so pure.
Okay. All right.
And so
Virginia, can you read these two?
I can. The first words immigrants learn are no speak English, and that's from DW. And this next text is, we welcome newcomers, but they were also grateful for the opportunity. They didn't want the government involved. That's the difference. So I know that when everybody in this room, when our grandparents came or parents came, there was no welfare. It was your family had to take care of you. And I know my grandmother was here for about 2 weeks, and she promptly got brought to the mill where she got a job. Because that was the expectation. You came here and you worked. And unfortunately, there are no more mills to work at. So And you didn't
Yeah,
need to learn English to work in a mill.
Yeah, no, you're right.
In Lowell, Lawrence, Drake it, anywhere.
Mhm.
But now, in order to get a job, you have to have some English. And so we've unfortunately made it difficult for newcomers to immerse in that way.
Regina, one more before we go.
And another one. The data center over in South Lowell destroyed that neighborhood. Kim Scott was correct. All the other counselors were wrong. And that's from Bart. Thank you, Bart.
So, but the United States as a whole, don't we need all these data centers and all that? So,
Yes, we do, Cliff, but we also have to realize that AI is around the corner. Now, here it is July. The data center needs more energy to keep their systems cool. You put the air conditioning up at your house, and AI is going to decide, who am I going to send energy to? Am I sending it to Cliff's house or to my friend over there at the computer place? Because I'm on computer too. That's what's got to be nipped right in the bud right now by Lori Trahan, who's fast asleep out in Westford this morning. They don't care. AI, we have to jump on AI before it takes over your life. Because it will tell computers what to do.
we have to jump on AI right now before we fall so far behind we become a third world nation.
Explain what you mean, Cliff. Explain to me what that means.
That AI is the way of the future. China's working on it. I assume India's working on it. And they're going to be able to use AI to charge forward. And if we do not use AI, we're going to fall further and further behind technologically and then economically.
Right now, we're doing nothing. Let's look the other way.
And why are we looking the other way and not,
Because it's easy.
okay,
What's the easiest thing to do? Nothing. Stay in bed. Pull the blanket up a little bit further.
So, Laura Trahan may be fast asleep in bed, but at 3:41 this morning, Vanna Howard sent me an email
Oh, well, cool.
because I wrote to her and said, what's going on with Senator Cynthia Cream's bill
oh,
to align transportation with the environmental issues?
which she signed off to it, she endorsed Cynthia Cream's bill.
Yes.
Shame on her.
Well, what did she say in her email, Cliff?
Well, what she said, what she did was she sent me an article and pointed out that this is not about putting restrictions on people, but about investing in exploring what kind of things can we do to help people with better mass transit and activities like that, so that we can reduce the number of automobiles. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, are they going to restrict the parking lots in grocery stores so that we decide to go less often to the grocery store?
We don't want to take the bus. What's the matter with that? I don't want to take the bus. I don't want to sit with smelly people. I know they're not smelly on the bus. I've been on the bus. But my perception is it's a smelly bus. I don't want to go on it. Why should I have to take the bus? I'm already paying for it with my taxpayers' money. It's free. Why should I take the free ride when I have my nice Mercedes outside?
Because you should have the choice to take your nice Mercedes.
I'm taking my Mercedes.
You
I'm
should
not taking the
be
bus.
forced to take the bus.
So, Cliff, when was the last time you were on a city bus?
I've never been on a city bus.
Okay. Belinda, when was the last time you were on a city bus?
It's been a long time.
A long time being a year, 50 years?
I haven't been in Lowell 50 years. A couple of years. Several years.
Regina, when was the last time you rode?
When I was in high school.
Okay. So we underutilize the system. What's it going to take for us to utilize the system? I'm not going to ride the bus.
Me neither.
I actually had a meet and greet where a resident in our neighborhood came by and asked about, and it's something I need to follow up more because I don't know enough about LRTA's zones or, lines, sort of how they have set their various bus routes, but, he was talking about, his son is a student at UMass Lowell and would take the bus to school if it were more convenient. So right now he'd have to go to Gallagher Terminal and then go out again. And I understand the reason for a hub and spoke kind of system, but it doesn't necessarily make it easy if you're trying to go off route, in effect. So I think more people would use it, which would cause more people to use it. I mean, it is, once people don't use something, you wonder like why you would use it.
There's
And,
no
yeah.
convenience in using it.
Yeah, exactly. That may be the case.
There's
I
just
think
no,
that's clearly.
there's just no convenience.
Yeah.
So I do see some people waiting for the bus when I'm driving home. And again, there's just no convenience in using it.
Yeah, for folks who have cars, it is
Right.
harder. I agree. But I think, like I just got a new car after 16 years, and I got a hybrid on purpose because I want to be more environmentally conscious. And I would take the bus into consideration if the sort of opportunity was right. If I were, heading to Gallagher Terminal, like I used to commute into Boston, I mean, my hours were sort of weird, and so I didn't necessarily, sort of try to align myself with the bus. But the times when I had taken the bus was from Gallagher Terminal either to downtown or elsewhere, because, that is convenient.
Right.
It is harder if you're trying to sort of go from different neighborhoods in the city to each other. I agree.
So I remember when we had an issue of some buildings being put up, some housing being put up in my neighborhood, and the developer said, well, everybody drives a bicycle now, rides a bicycle now. And so that's why we don't need as many parking spaces in this development. So I got up to the microphone and I said, with all due respect, I'm looking at the planning board, and I want each of you to tell me right now, who drove your bicycle here tonight? And I dare say, not one person said, oh, Regina, I drove my bicycle here tonight, because not one of them did.
I would have taken it, but it would have been stolen.
Right. Probably would have been stolen.
They have some cute excuse.
And so not anybody in that room drove the bicycle, including the developer. So don't give me any baloney that people drive their bicycle. I don't want to hear it. Because no one in that room drove their bicycle to City Hall for the meeting that night.
And
On the subject of
but go for it, Eileen.
So Fred Bahu put together a meeting with the LRTA at Lowell High on Monday, and I have to say they brought all of their employees, and there's issues about certain bus lines not having enough buses for kids after school to get home. And I had, from the human resource director to the route director was there, David Bradley, George, I'm not going to say his last name because I don't want to mess it up. And they were really receptive and really wanted to work with the students that were on the student council and have an issue with some of the things going on, as you spoke to. Like when I was going to school, all we had to do was go down to Page Street and Merrimack Street, and all the buses were there. And now it's a jaunt to even get to Gallagher for the kids. And some of the kids are getting kicked off the buses and having to Uber, which is tough. So we're trying to figure out a plan to make it easier, more efficient, more effective. Like the Highlands bus is there, even though there's two of them, there's never enough. And I remember my friends living in the Highlands, going there after school from Lowell High, where the buses would be out on Father Morissette, and it was always packed. But I thought it was staggered a little more. I thought there was like an on-time bus and a little later bus, but there wasn't. But I mean, even if they did that, that could try to help out a little. So yeah, and I went on their new hybrid bus after. They brought a bus with them, so that was pretty cool.
Eileen, the
Yes.
producer is a little confused about who pays for the Uber that students take to get home or go to school.
They have to pay for it.
Good. Okay, Regina, you want to read these four?
I do. It's the first texter. Isn't the bus free right now? I
Yes.
did not know the
Yes,
answer.
it
The
is.
answer is
Yes,
yes,
it is.
okay. So can I ask a question? Who's paying?
Taxpayers.
Okay, thank you. Next
The
text.
school department, yeah, so they paid for all the student school buses.
Okay.
The buses are free now.
The LRTA buses are for all, yes.
Nothing's free. Somebody's
Next
paying
question.
for it. Next, a different question. When was the last time you had to pay for the bus, AKA not free? Do we know that? Anybody know when was the
Couple
last
years
time?
ago.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was about 12 to 18 months ago that it first became free.
Okay.
Yeah.
8 to 12 months, okay.
Or 12 to 18. I would
12
say.
to 18, okay. Next text. AI is a grift being purported by the stock market. Sounds like the dot-com bubble. Next text. Respectfully, no one on the panel is taking the bus. You are correct, texter. Absolutely 100% correct. Yes.
I did for a bit. It's packed.
Public school, I took the bus for a week.
For a week. And then what?
I either walked or rode my bicycle, or if my parents let me have the car, a couple times I drove to high school.
Okay.
But
I walked to high school.
a week, I rode the bus for a week because junior high school was in a different city, and then I found that I could cut across the fields, so I walked with my buddies.
Okay. And then would you take the car and drive everybody to school?
No, this is junior high school.
Oh, all right.
It was a horse and buggy.
Oh, I took the bus in Queens, New York. I took the bus to high school every day because it would have been a 2-mile walk. So I walked rarely. When I went to grade school, we walked all the time. It was a mile, but
That was in the
city
last
streets.
century.
I'm sorry.
That was in the last century?
It
Yes.
was the last century.
Grade school, 4
20,
times,
yes.
every day.
I
To
just want you to
school,
see,
home,
like,
to school,
we're
home.
talking like we rode the bus yesterday.
No, you're absolutely right. Yes.
And you said grade school, I don't care. It's in the way, it's over 20 years ago since you rode a bus.
John, you may
Cliff.
not have any historic memory, but some of us do.
I had to walk to school.
All the way down the street? All right. Before we lose Regina,
Oh,
Yes?
I want to talk about the trooper George Hanna
Yes.
shooting and whether or not we should release his killer,
No.
who was 20 years old when he did it. He's been in jail for 40 years.
1983, right?
Right.
This happened.
Cliff, let's remember something. It was a traffic stop. The murderer got out of his car, faced Trooper Hanna, and then fired off directly into that man's chest several bullets without blinking an eye. It was a simple traffic stop. It wasn't an ICE traffic stop. It wasn't like anything going on today. It was a simple traffic stop. And without any thought, he killed that man in cold blood. He should never see the light of day. No. I know what people say about the 20-year-old brain, but he had enough compulsion to take out a gun and kill that man. No, he should never see the light of day.
Well put, Regina.
Thank you, John. I understand that. I had a conversation with my doctor giving me my allergy shot yesterday about her son and when is his brain going to develop. And I said, when he's 24, okay? As a college professor, I'm going to tell you right now, when he's 24, you got a long way to go. But let's talk about some incentives to make him get his homework done, okay? But he was 20 years old. He was with several of his friends. There was no need to kill that man, to kill Trooper Hanna. It was a simple traffic stop. And I was hoping that you would have Dennis here this morning, because Dennis wrote he gave a beautiful
Dennis is
interview,
coming in 2 weeks.
in the Herald yesterday. I read it, I cried, because Trooper Hanna was in the class, the graduating class before Dennis, but Dennis worked with him, and Dennis remembered him, and he's just said beautiful
Dennis
things.
Galvin.
Dennis Galvin, Major Galvin, said beautiful things about Trooper Hanna, and No, he should never see the light of day. And you can tell me he's rehabilitated. Good. That means he's helping other prisoners. Yay. Teach them how to read and write, and help them in the culinary program, but never walk among good citizens again. That's your punishment. Never walk among good citizens again.
We got it, Regina. Back over to Cliff.
I thought you were going to have some strong opinions on that.
Hallelujah.
Amen, sister. All right, everyone have a wonderful day. Take care. See you in 2 weeks.
Good to see you.
Okay,
Take
thanks,
care.
Regina.
Bye.
2 weeks.
Regina, stay warm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, where did that happen again? What town?
I don't know what town it happened in.
It was Massachusetts, though.
Yes.
Massachusetts. It was a Massachusetts state trooper. Traffic stop. They don't know what town.
So, Monday, did we have that YouTube about the teacher resigning, and she published on YouTube and said,
I had sent it to you and John. I sent it to John in a text. You asked me to send it to him, but I don't think we showed it.
oh, okay. But this is a teacher, she'd been teaching for 3 years, and she quit because just,
ChatGPT and AI is ruling the world, and kids don't care if they get a 0 because of it.
that was the story that struck me.
I-
She had a student who submitted an essay, turned out she tracked it back, it was ChatGPT or something like that. And she talked to the student, and the student said, "Can I just take a 0?"
Wow.
They're okay with that. And
That
if-
is not good.
Where was this? I didn't hear this about this story.
Honestly, I don't know where this teacher was from. But she had just been teaching for 3 years. I want to say it was like maybe Ohio, or do you remember, Cliff?
I don't.
Yeah.
Not a local
And she was
kid.
just saying how kids just don't care, how AI is overruling everything, and that kids today don't have an original thought, nor can they be able to connect thoughts and, do that higher level of thinking and really summarize and filter out like what's important, what's not important. I remember even trying to teach that to my students, that, they just want to highlight everything. Everything's important. Because it's giving them something to do, and they look like they're paying attention, but their brains are just so used to being clickety-click, immediate gratification with everything that we have that allows them.
Read this one.
The guy should stay in prison. He only knows prison life. He wouldn't be able to adapt to life outside of the prison walls. And that's so true, even for these people who have been exonerated after 38, 40 years. They still don't know how to live in this world because they've been institutionalized by the prison for so long. And their lives are already kind of destroyed.
There's some truth to that. The sheriff's department does an excellent job at trying to bring prisoners into real time, getting them a job. You can't force anybody to do anything. But if you have a prisoner that wants a job when he gets out or she gets out, the sheriff will fix it. I'm sorry, Cliff. Please proceed.
Could I ask a question of Eileen, though, to follow up? So the concern about the teacher, quitting because of the AI, what do you think would be, helpful to get folks to kids to develop the critical thinking skills that are needed? And, is it to take, not give cell phones early, or are they, I know that's a sort of, maybe a Band-Aid, but I don't even know.
That's a great question, Belinda. Honestly, like what John says is we can't beat them, we've got to join them, right? So how do we now teach the kids to ask for maybe an answer and then say what's the most important part of this? So maybe AI is starting to teach them. We need to change our curriculum to where our kids are at and stop trying to teach like they did when I was in school, because the world is so far advanced. We have kids that can do amazing things on computers and electronics and so forth, but they don't know how to read, they don't know how to do math, and they don't know how to write.
And they
But
get promoted
they're
anyway.
geniuses. Yeah, when it comes to it. So we have to figure out a way, if we're not gonna win, which I don't think we are, then how do we join the movement and how do we adjust
use
our
it as a
curriculum?
tool in a sense. Use AI, et cetera, as a tool to help with the key thinking skills that need to be developed.
I have a solution. We would replace all the parents.
That's a great idea, Cliff. Let's just do
John
that.
keeps thinking it's the schools, but it's the parents.
It's the
The
broken
parents
education
need
system.
to be invested, and they need to make sure that their kids have goals and are moving along. And I don't think parents are doing that these days. But John,
Cliff, where's parent school? There's no
parents,
such place as parent school.
there is. When you're growing up, you're in parent school. You're learning how to be an adult and how to be a parent.
When I hire
And
somebody,
it's been the same school for thousands of years.
that had two parents at home.
That's a huge component.
Now, when I call somebody to come and fix my trash compactor, I do not help them at all. When I send my kid to school, why should I think I have to help the kid? Nobody told me. The school falls down on their duty, not having a YouTube for kindergarten, first grade, seventh grade. They should have a YouTube from the principal that goes to all those parents and says, you got to pick your kid up at school. We're not keeping the kid until Friday. We're not going to feed the kid. We're not going to tell them what they need to know instead of guessing, and put it in several languages. So the grandmothers know, oh, I'm going to make a lunch for my kid. I have to pick the kid up at 2. School gets out at 2. They don't get out at 3. So we're not good, we're good complainers. We're poor communicators. And I go right back to, what do you do if ICE pulls you over? Nobody knows.
Oh, that is something that a lot of people know and some don't. But those are people who don't know that ICE has real bullets. So I don't know what to say about that.
Well, ICE falls down on their duty,
You and I are
not
totally different about how to deal with someone who comes to the house to fix something. I say it's your responsibility as the homeowner to be available to that person if they need a glass of water.
Yeah, and you can
I do
learn
that
what
at
they're
the I do
doing.
that at the greeting. But as for getting down on my hands and knees and helping them do their job, that ain't happening.
Well, I try not to get in the way of them doing the job, but I'm there in case they have a question. I want them to think that I care about what's going on.
Do you
Okay.
really?
Yeah.
How?
And yesterday, I was on the way back from the doctor when the guy showed up to fix the silverware drawer, and my grandson let him in, and he did it without me being there, but I was very interested in him doing it and doing it right. I don't know. Okay.
So if we can go round and round, but I'm sorry that the government does not do a good presentation on what you should do.
Well, there's so many components. The educational structure of schools today are just broken. It doesn't provide for a teacher to really give our students what they truly need. And our students are needier than ever today. And again, there's no accountability or no consequences for children who act out, because you can't call the parents and tell them and suspend them anymore. That rule is put in place to lower suspension rates in 2014 or 2015, I believe. That all students, if suspended, it has to be in school for the most part. So kids are literally getting away with so much and not seeing the consequences. And then parents are not held accountable, and then we live in such a litigious society that parents want to blame the schools and the teachers for everything, and nobody's truly doing the right thing for our students except deflecting to each other. And when it comes down to it, as a special education teacher, if I'm writing an individual education plan and I'm putting 30 minutes a day for a student to be pulled out for a reading goal, that's not enough time, honestly. We need to have more small classrooms, language-based classrooms in our school districts, so students don't need to be outplaced, you know. I was perceptive to my son's learning disabilities. He's so smart in so many different ways, but I could kind of see it, and I advocated hard for a long time for him that Lowell Public Schools is not working for him. It wasn't until he was in 5th grade that he was finally placed at the Learning Prep in West Newton, and it was an adjustment, and it's changed his life. He looks forward to school. He looks forward to his progress. He got straight A's, which I still am wrapping my head around. And I think the benefit that the Learning Prep has is all their classes are small sized. So why can't we start to build upon that overall? Hire more teachers, build smaller classrooms, be more intricate in what our students need, and be able to zone in on them.
No, I have a better idea. Keep them back.
Yeah, but
Stop
then-
promoting kids who didn't earn it. I don't have to read. I'm going to get promoted anyway. This has got to stop. 4th graders can't read, and we push them on to the 5th grade. Good luck, kid. You feel that kid for his life.
It truly is, because
The unions stand behind that. The unions, administration, they all stand behind. Push the kid forward. He'll get it. No, he's not.
my son at the end of 5th grade was reading on an early 1st grade level still. And he would have still got pushed on even though he was in the special ed language-based program in Lowell, because they don't have the structure. Now at the Learning Prep, they do Wilson Foundations, and he is so proud of himself every time he gets up to another level. I think last time he told me he's on 7.0, which shows the progression, and it shows what a small individualized setting or smaller numbers with kids like his disability are similar to. But we don't do that because we do a one-size-fits-all, and let's hope it all works. And let's give them assessments on the computer. And I don't think any of that's good. Or let's teach them to read on the computer. That's the last thing these kids need, because they're hooked to a computer or a device at home. And I think whoever created reading programs on the computer is, I don't think it's a good idea. Because what's the first thing a kid's going to do? Figure out how to get off the program and go on to something else. And then you have a whole other situation. Never mind teaching.
So if you hold a kid back, what's going to be different
The second time around.
the second time around?
And that's the
If you
thought.
pass a car that has bald tires, how's that okay? You pass the car. We don't care. Go ahead. You're out of here. Bald tires. The kid doesn't have the grade
I have
to
a
be
friend
promoted.
who had an expression for that, a limping analogy.
I don't care you don't like it, Cliff, but this business of promoting kids who don't deserve it has got to stop.
So there was a lot of research that came out in, I believe it was 2009, 2010, that researched and stated that holding students back essentially affects their social emotional well-being, which I love that term, right? And which I get it, maybe it can, but, and again, in the world of special ed, you look at it like, is this a learning disability, or is the student going to make progress if we hold them back? And so I think since 2010, holding students back has really been not happening for our students. And you know, I do think for the John McDonough, who I know you talked about repeating second grade, it worked for you, but you had everything in place. You had supportive parents. You had parents who respected education, all of the things. Today, none of that happens. And so we're in a total different world, and there's so many variables that have to do with it.
What's the solution? Continue to promote them? That's what you're doing.
Listen, I truly 100% believe our school systems and our education system overall is broken, and somebody needs to intervene and fix it, because
We're paying
it is a problem.
$17,000 per student for this broken school system. Eventually, we have to go over to Belinda, because she's brand new city council, want to find what's going on in
Yes,
her life.
sorry. And
No,
congratulations on
thank you. No,
everything.
but I think these are complex issues that, I don't think there are any easy solutions, and everybody wants a simple fix,
One
but
size fits all.
yeah, but I mean, also the fix isn't gonna be simple. What you're suggesting is it would need to be small classrooms, more individualized instruction, therefore more teachers. So we may not be doing a good job with the costs we're spending. We may have to spend more to do a better, the appropriate job, and
Right.
then that may be the right investment. I'm not, but that's a
It's a lot.
societal judgment
It's-
that we have to make.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of work, and if we're getting 17,000 plus for every student, why not hire more staff? And here we go, here's Belinda's turn, okay?
Okay.
When we have dilapidating buildings that we have in the city for these school buildings, and that's a whole other thing. How are you gonna learn when there's mold and heat issues and boiler issues?
Why does the
and-
union let you use these buildings?
There's another issue, exactly. You can look at it for all the angles. It's set up not for a child's success, even though we're supposed to be giving the child success. The only ones that are, not the teachers, they're still getting paychecks, not administration. Everyone's getting a paycheck. The kids, the ones that are suffering are the kids who aren't getting what they need. So,
I'm going to take a chance here and give a shout out, like I did in the first hour, to our state rep, Vanna Howard. Not your state rep. Who's your state? You got Rodney?
Rodney, because he's Centerville and Drake,
Pawtucketville.
Pawtucketville in that area.
But yesterday, I sent, in the afternoon, I sent an email to our state rep, Vanna Howard.
When's she coming?
I didn't ask her.
Ah.
I asked her about the Cynthia Cream bill about the Department of Transportation finding out how to reduce automobile traffic, because I was a little concerned about the bill. She wrote me at 3:41 this morning. So there is my state rep working the issues. So
Is she in town or is she down in Florida?
I don't know.
No, she's in town. I actually saw her yesterday afternoon in Lowell. No, well,
Anyway,
I mean, I have evidence in my own
I thought-
eyesight.
I thought she had a pretty good response. So kudos to Vanna Howard.
And you can tell she's obviously thinking a lot about all these issues as she's up at 3:41
Yeah,
in the
right,
morning.
yeah.
Because that's when you know you have an overactive brain.
You're
So-
right.
In the local neighborhood,
Yeah.
why did they take the speed humps off of Fairmount? Do you know?
Yes, I do. What I don't remember from my notes is when they are coming back, but the reason was because those were two temporary speed humps. They were the plastic kind.
The
Okay.
asphalt ones?
No, they were not asphalt. They were like these were, it was a pilot program that was conducted last sort of summer into the fall, so they were literally like plastic humps. And so because of the concern about plowing, just sort of like breaking them, they were taken down. The stripes are still there.
Yep.
And so it actually, I mean, as I drive up Fairmount Street, I actually, remember them and think about them as, I try to drive the speed limit of 25. It's often a little challenge, you start edging up a little bit, but I really am thoughtful about that. So they were taken down because of the concern about snow plows, just, breaking them apart. And I had spoken with Liz Altman, the city's transportation engineer, or director, whatever her exact title is, who I think is really, really good. What I can't remember is if there is a specific date on when they would be put in as permanent speed humps, because I do think they were found to be useful, or how that or I think it will need to tie into the paving plan, and that's the part I meant to look at my notes before coming in.
Yeah.
but I didn't do that.
So that's kind of like what they had on Billings Street, like they had the temporary ones for them to try out, but then they never actually put one there, so that was confusing. And on a positive side note, my speed hump sign, the street and city department came out this week and put my speed hump sign back up across the street from my house. So thank you, city.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, anything about the one on Billings, but, I mean, the point, for instance, of the one on Fairmount was to do a test to see whether it actually helped. So maybe, I have no idea whether, maybe it just didn't help on Billings.
Oh,
and they
I see
decided-
what you're saying.
But I don't know.
Secret vote?
I don't know what that means.
Thumbs down, he's saying.
It's a secret vote.
Eileen, we got 7 messages here.
Temporary speed humps, but in by Councilor Belinda, now he's out, you don't need any more. Temporary speed humps.
Yeah, so I'll jump in on that. I mean, the focus on the speed humps is one for Fairmount Street. Since we have invested in putting them in, I am following up on what Councilor Belanger started there.
Okay, Eileen, back to you.
Would teachers
Yeah,
be
sorry.
willing to take a pay cut to hire more teachers for smaller class sizes? Probably, because that's part of the issue overall. Kids don't have parents who hold them accountable for their behavior. True. The modern adults are happy having their kids be victims. Not this parent, I'll tell you that. I'm over it. The teacher Eileen is referring to, her name's Hannah Maria, thank you. For some strange reason, no one knows where she taught, and she doesn't want to disclose which school district she taught in. And Fox News, which carried it, doesn't want to disclose it either. Maybe that would be doxing her. The guy should stay, he only knows the prison life.
Oh,
We
that
read
was-
that one,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then throwing money at a problem is not always a good solution. Money doesn't matter. The student's accountability is what matters. Listen, I 100% agree with that. And if we can do the work and make the changes that truly need to happen, and now we need to, really hold the kids accountable. But with the system such an array of a mess, I mean, everyone's getting away with murder, literally. Let's not forget about all the illegal children who don't speak English. They have to be educated too. How is Lowell dealing with this new problem created by the government? I mean, I know Lowell was a major hotspot center, having the ICC house the immigrants that came over. I mean, I worked in Methuen Public Schools. We got one of the students from the ICC, and nobody even knew what language he spoke. Haitian Creole, French, not English. Like, it's tough, and it does put a strain on teachers even more. And now they're not only dealing with 25, 26 kids, but now there's students that doesn't speak one solid language. So, and these things happen all the time, and any student like that can drop into your class at any point. In public education, there are no rules to exclude anybody. And so when I say there are so many variables, you're getting it from all ends. And we've talked about plenty of them this morning, and I'm sure we could spend the next show talking all about issues too, aside from what we talked about today. And so it's...
I want to go back to Belvedere.
Okay, I'll jump in though, and not all the students who don't speak English are by any means here without status or whatever. There are folks who come in every day with, valid immigration status or for other reasons that don't speak English.
Additionally, never mind just the illegal immigrant students or the migrant students. Let's talk about the facts in Massachusetts. The law is when any child turns the age of 3 years old, they can be placed in preschool at Lowell Public Schools, especially if they're on an individual education plan, special ed plan. So now you get a 3-year-old who's never been to school and needs to be toileted, or he needs to be changed, or she needs to be changed, has no idea about the structure and routine. Now that preschool classroom is set back a bit because they have to assimilate this student into the classroom structure and routine when maybe they just got it all set. So there's there's constant challenges in the world of education, and that's why I confidently say our education system is broke.
I serve or participate on the Lowell Early Childhood Council because I do think early education is critical to everybody's growth, being able to, understand how to be in a group and how to, start learning your alphabet and all of those things. And it's a challenge to find the, financial support to get, because we don't yet have universal preschool in Lowell. And and it is important for kids and everybody in our society to learn English. I don't mean that people shouldn't be speaking their own languages also, but it is important to connect with each other, and it's been found for people's economic success that they need to be able to know English to move forward. But we therefore need to bring kids together, and, maybe have their own, home language spoken in part of their daycare situations, but also learn English with each other and, learn how to be in groups and all of those kinds of things. But it's, that's a big cost too, for the education system, for taxpayers, for, society, but it's a commitment we may need to make.
I remember my dad also saying how much he was always trying to learn the Italian language.
Oh.
And I said, Dad, your parents came from Italy. You did not speak Italian in your house. And he said, my parents spoke it to each other. I didn't really understand it so much, but with me, they said, we're in America now. We speak English. And that was the mindset then. And in order for kids to assimilate it and be successful. But today it's, nope, I'm not, me no speak English, me no understand, me no comprehend. And that is not helping us, it's giving us more work because we're not having, we're going back in time instead of being efficient and moving forward ahead. And people like that. They want to keep us behind, not moving forward. And that's where we see lots of issues. And
My wife noted, 10 or 15 years, 20 years ago, that at the post office, Asian American kids and parents spoke English to each other. Latin American kids and their parents spoke Spanish to each other. And you can see that reflected in performance of those groups in Lowell Public Schools.
yeah.
Well, my parents came from Austria, and the first language I learned was German because they spoke it with each other. And then I was the oldest child, so, that was what I was immersed in, as I was growing up.
So you receptively understand.
Yes.
And you can speak.
Yes, and also I went to an after-school program for 8 years to learn German. But, so we spoke, German at home. My brother, who's younger, didn't go through a formal program. He can understand it but doesn't speak it. And as sort of by the time he came along, we in the family were speaking English more. So I did grow up bilingually, really, and think that's a great benefit, to have a second language, even though German is not one you use around the world, around our neighborhood much.
But before you leave today, can you give me some German words to say to Cliff? Just for fun?
I only know nice words.
Oh, you did?
In case you were asking for the other kind.
So,
How do you say bologna and cheese in German?
I'll think, I don't know about the bologna part, but the and cheese I can tell you.
And cheese, okay.
so back to Belvedere.
Okay, sorry, yes.
Is the city ever going to pull that stump out from in front of the former Saunders house?
I will, I don't know. So one of the things that I will say that as a new city councilor, the city manager and his team have been great at meeting with me, and I'm sure with the other new councilors, and I've been getting to meet with them one-on-one. what I think is important is that we understand, and I don't know the answer to that question, but it's really a question of how do we deal with things like stumps that are, sitting there in the sidewalks when the tree is gone. And what are the priorities? How are those priorities determined? And I don't have the answer to that because I hadn't asked that specific question, but I want to ask to understand not just that stump,
Yeah.
but what, generally, what are the systems in place?
So,
So I'm writing that down.
I just wanted to add on, now, especially with kids, I'm sure you know about like language one, and you need a strong language one to build a solid foundation on language two,
I see,
right?
okay.
And so if your first language is Spanish, you have to have a real good solid foundation of it, and then it'll be easier to learn English. But today we're also seeing kids that don't have a strong language one, a strong language two, and maybe have some
that's
third
interesting.
language in there as well.
Oh.
And so that's the only other point I wanted to
Yeah,
make
no, that's
before we went
interesting.
back to Belvedere.
Yeah.
God's country.
All right, thank you. No, thank you, that's an
here's
interesting
one
point.
that will interest John. There was an article Melanie Gilbert wrote, I think, 160 affordable housing units for the North Canal complex. And this is good. They're taking some older, sort of run-down buildings and they're replacing them, and they're replacing more units. So they're going to take 116 units and make it 160. Elderly housing, but they made the decision that since it's elderly, they don't need parking spaces. So there's going to be something like 70 parking spaces. I'm not,
Why don't we put a building on that spot? Build another 70 units there. Come on, Lowell, you got the guts to take away the parking? Take away the elderly's parking spot and put a building there and see what happens to your job.
nothing. So, are we, do people really think the car's going away in the next 50 years?
Eileen, you want to do these three, then we're going to go over to Belinda because time is short.
Great having Belinda in today, LOL. Hope she comes back again. Was there a homemade baked goodie today? Question mark. Have a good weekend. Go Pats Bart. No homemade goodies. Sorry.
Who makes them?
Well, I know Karen Casella makes some great
Let's
stuff.
go with these three, time is short.
All right. We should go back in time. The education system was better than it is now. Completely agree. Stop putting trees next to sidewalks. That clearly ruined the sidewalk. You can't have a pothole crew without potholes.
Time is short.
So, yeah, if you don't mind, I'll just mention that I've been doing meet and greets once a month. I did the first two in November and December were at the Dunkin' Donuts on Roger Street. But January 28th, I'm going to do one from 1 to 2 p.m. at Kilkenny Pub.
Oh, that's a good spot.
Yeah.
Plenty of parking.
Yeah. Good
Plenty of
point.
parking. He's got a little separate room over there you can sit in.
Yeah, exactly.
Great
And-
idea. He's a good guy, Dick.
Yeah, and then we'll do another one in February there. I don't have the date offhand. And then I'm going to try to rotate around in different spots each month, or every other month, so that we can.
Do you have a webpage where you have all this info?
Yes, so it's my campaign web page, which is belinda4belvedere.com. So Belinda, Belinda, the number 4, Belvedere.com. And there is a meet and greet is one of the top links, and under there is all.
So the meet
this.
and greet is free?
Yeah, yes, I mean, yes, just to come, I'll buy soft drinks, but, I'm not gonna buy alcohol for folks, but, yes, 1 to 2 p.m., January 28th.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
Soft drinks cost enough anyway. It's
Oh.
like $3.99 or $4.99 for something out of a fountain.
So,
Eileen, they love you reading the text, so you want to do this one?
One thing a new immigrant ought to do is to learn English. Loving America and wanting to enjoy the benefits of being American but refusing to learn English or making genuine effort to learn is absurd to me.
Sorry, kids, no more text today. That's the last one.
All right, there's no show on Monday. It's Martin Luther King birthday. Martin Luther King set a standard of public discourse that sadly we seem to have lost. And that it was unfortunate he was assassinated.
At a young age.
Yeah.
So Belinda, how you like being a city councilor so far?
So far, so good. I mean, it is different being on the other side of the fence, sitting there. I mean, I'd attended meetings, for the last couple of years, but it's very different when you're, finally there.
It's interesting when you can, you have the attention of the administration, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yes. I mean,
They only work for 11 people.
yeah. Well, yeah. And that is one way of thinking about it. I think we all work for 115,000 people, but.
Yeah.
Well,
It's so
I'll
much.
bet you the manager calls you back now. Did he call you back a year ago?
So I probably didn't really reach out to him a year ago, and I'm also very judicious about when I reach out to him now.
I
So,
understand.
yeah.
Good.
I was just going to say, like, you realize how much is going on.
60
when
seconds.
Now calling you Councilor Juran, and like, what do I say? Do I say here, present?
I know,
Do I say yes? Well, what am I saying? And it's like this nervousness, and then you see
Yes.
yourself on TV, and it's like,
And even though I went to the meetings and I heard, it's like, even things like through you to the, city solicitor or whatever, it's like, oh my God, I forgot the terminology that I heard hundreds of times because I didn't have to use it.
and you're focusing on seeing your face and how you're looking.
I,
and then
that
you're
part I
like-
try to avoid.
I know, I try to look away now too, because I realize, like, why are you looking at yourself? You get caught up with that.
So next time you're in, we'll talk about school buildings
Okay.
because they seem to come up every week in the Lowell Sun. And
I know that
obviously
they're
it's the
working
school
on it, but
committee's
there was
not
a-
doing a good job.
Oh.
So, Belinda, now we only have Facebook, watching us, Facebook and YouTube. How do you feel about the parking meters still being enforced until 8 p.m.?
That's ridiculous.
I get the reason that we need to keep our parking enterprise fund fed, because, that is, otherwise a liability for the city. And 8 p.m. is not uncommon, because I've been collecting meter information as I go to other places, so it's not uncommon. I do think the 2-hour limit is a challenge. And I understand the reason for trying to, not have people park in the same spot all day, et cetera. People can park in the garages, but I do think that, if you find a street space, getting a ticket if you're there just over 2 hours, that's a hard pill to swallow, and that's happened to me, and I pay the bill, pay the ticket. I do think, though, that there are ways it could be set up so that you pay a certain fee for the first 2 hours, and if you do stay for a third, you pay a somewhat higher fee as a way to discourage people from staying too long and just hogging a space, but recognizing that people may have, the need to be there for, a dinner that extends or whatever.
And of course, you
There's
realize
no-
businesses pay a premium tax, correct?
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, no, it's a tough challenge because we do have to keep that parking enterprise fund, solvent. So everybody wants parking to be free and right in front of where they want to be, and that's not realistic. So we have to do the best we can in trying to balance.
You know what makes me sad is I had to run into City Hall yesterday only for a few minutes, but they used to have those 15-minute parking only, and now that's down. They had 2 spots, which are perfect for somebody who has to just run in real quick and then come out. But now you don't even have that choice. You have to pay or do something or get a ticket if you park in the wrong place. And it's just, I get
Yeah,
we
no,
need the money.
Hey, Cliff,
but-
there are 15-minute free.
one viewer thinks
Yeah.
that
Oh.
Vanna probably set her email to go off at 3:30 a.m.
Scheduled send email. I don't know.
I think
That's what
Vanna-
one
I
viewer
think she
just
has a
sent me
way-
now as a text, though.
Yeah, I think Vanna is an Energizer bunny that way. I don't think she needs a lot of sleep, so. But thank you, Cliff and John.